Good afternoon, everyone. Please indulge me whilst I light up my cigar. It's a Davidoff 702 Short Perfecto. Become clear shortly in this video why I've chosen this particular cigar. So let's begin with some cigar news. It's been some time since I've had an opportunity to put out a new video. Thank you for bearing with me, and my apologies for the delay there. I do promise some exciting developments have been gestating whilst we've been waiting. So first things first, from Davidoff, I'm really excited. We have the new Davidoff Maduro. It's about to launch, but I'm so excited, I couldn't wait. But I don't actually have the cigars yet. So this is the next best I could get to. It's a new release in 3 sizes. It's called the Davidoff Maduro, Toro, Robusto, and I believe short Robusto sizes. And what is interesting about this particular one, it's a reissue in a limited quantity of the original Davidoff Maduro from a number of years ago. This particular one has a real attention on the Maduro leaf. Remember, Maduro is the outer wrapper, and it's a style of fermentation and also cultivation where the leaf is exposed to sun as opposed to shade grown, and during the fermentation process more time is taken, and that combination allows the leaf to have a certain thicker texture but also a richer, sweeter flavor profile. In the case of Davidoff this time, we're getting 16 months of fermentation. That's pretty much double what they normally do on the wrapper leaf. It's an Ecuador Habano wrapper, of course, beautiful, Mexican binder, Dominican fillers. And I've been reliably informed it's going to be a medium strength cigar. There's going to be plenty of sweetness to enjoy as we smoke through that. And as I mentioned, it's a limited release, which means there'll be a certain quantity produced and then we'll finish. That really brings me on to an important question and subject for me and probably for you. Why, when you make a beautiful cigar, like the Davidoff 702, like the Dominicanas, and even like the Puradoros, which arrived about 10, 12 years ago, why then discontinue them? I get it with a limited edition, but why with these runs? Well, it's really a consequence of the very nature and definition of a fine handmade cigar. The ingredients themselves are restricted and limited by Mother Nature. The tobacco that goes into creating the blend for each of these cigars, there's a certain quantity available from a particular year or a particular batch or a particular series. Then it's gone. The age profile on those tobaccos as well will heavily influence how they ultimately taste in the finished product. And of course, how long the cigars are assembled, put together, and then put to one side to mature and rest. All those combinations are going to play into the final flavor and enjoyment of that cigar. Here, I want to pull out the Dominicanas, the 3 sizes. This was the 2014 series produced by Davidoff about 2 years ago. It was there to replace the 702 series. And each one of these has a relatively limited period of availability, call it 2 years in some cases, maybe 3, 4 years in others. When they're gone, they're gone. And irrespective of whether the manufacturer is able to replicate the recipe in the future, the truth is that exact cigar can never be created again. So some advice to myself, of course, as a hoarder and a cigar lover, but also to yourselves, as people who love cigars. When you come across a limited release series that you enjoy, should you buy more? Should you buy less? Of course, finances come into play. But in general, try and put them aside. Don't rely on the unlimited availability of that series. by definition, it can't happen. And what is intriguing in the future will be to compare the new releases with the original recipes to the old first release. Good example will be the Davidoff Maduro. If you're lucky enough to have some of the boxes from 10, 12 years ago, you'll be able to compare it to the new series coming out. I'm doing this with the Dominicanas, putting a sizable quantity away. I think they're wonderful cigars. And I'm looking forward to seeing the next release that Davidoff will bring out using that recipe, seeing how they compare. Now, moving on from the exciting news of the Maduro, I'm sort of touching on something quite special here. This one is also from Davidoff. And as some of you may know, we're in the Year of the Dragon. Well, what does that mean? That means I've sold out. The actual Year of the Dragon's released in double Corona format in the boxes of 10, gone about 2 months ago. However, I was really, really lucky. I got my hands on this, what I can describe as a chest of 88 Gran Toro versions of the Year of the Dragon. Now, the Gran Toro is a 60 ring gauge, I believe, by 6 inches. And it was and is only available as part of the Masterpiece humidors, 20 of which were made to celebrate the Year of the Dragon in this quantity. And in a smaller sizings of 24, I believe you can get some in the flagship stores in the US and in Geneva. But it's really rare and it's beautiful. And I confess, I have not yet plunged into it. But this is new. This has come in. I'm very, very honored to have one of these myself. Now, what else is new in the cigar world? Well, from Cuba, we have 2 limited editions that came out. The first, the Bolivar Regentes. It's meant to be a 2021 limited edition, but it's actually just released about 2 months ago, exclusively in the UK initially, and now globally available. It's a beautiful cigar. It's a 52 ring gauge. See if I can get it open. It's a classic Bolivar. In my opinion, a little bit lighter perhaps than the usual meaty, rich, full-bodied Bolivars. And it's practically a Robusto, so it's about 5 inches, but slightly thicker at 52. Look at that stunner. As is often the case with Cuban releases, even limited editions and reservas and Gran Reservas, if you can be patient, you'll be rewarded. They will improve significantly over the short term. You can enjoy them now. I've had some. But if possible, as with the limited release Davidoffs, put them away. Smoke a box perhaps, put another 1 or 2 away. They will only get better, and you can revisit them in years to come. We also have, from the same year of limited edition production, the Hoyo de Monterrey, Monterreyes number 4. Comes in a box of 10 as opposed to the 25 of the Bolivars. This is a significantly bigger cigar. It's a 55 ring gauge, like a wide Churchill in thickness, a little bit longer. I believe it's about 5 3/4 inches in length. And being a Hoyo de Monterrey, you would expect it to be a little bit lighter on the flavor profile than the Bolivar, and indeed it is, but well poised, and I think a little bit further along its maturation profile than perhaps the Bolivar. Oh, so difficult to resist, isn't it? I would want to smoke these now, but hey, put one away and then smoke a single or 2 in between. I promise you, I say this to myself, you will only be rewarded. So those are a couple of new arrivals from Cuba. Now, I have a restock, rather excitingly as well. I got really worried about these. It's the Fuente 20th Anniversary series. This, I believe, is the Power of the Dream. It is indeed. I love this because I was recently in Dominican Republic, had the great privilege of visiting the Fuente Cigar Lounge in Santo Domingo. Amazing selection of Fuente cigars, of course, and hospitality. But what really struck me was the 20th anniversary I smoked there. Difficult to find a better cigar I've smoked for a long time. So well balanced and such a rich, flavorful, well-developed cigar. We're often out of these in store. They have been restocked. So if you're lucky enough to find these wherever you are, make sure you try and pick some up. They're beautiful. No doubt I will follow up again soon with another video of further new releases, but until then, find these and I hope you enjoy them.